Well, talking about luck, and the fact that we in our space, don't you find it interesting how every time we're going to play, like let's say a football match, for example, everybody says, by the grace of God, we're coming back with a cup, by the grace of God, we're winning the trophy and all of that. But when you look at our preparation towards that, it's almost nil.
Yeah, that's why we never see the light.
It's almost nil, and yet somehow we expect it to drop out of the sky because maybe we feel like we're extra special. So we do the same thing in our public spaces, and our public utilities and all of that. Of course, our people are working hard to make sure that things work well and all that. But with the wage, a treatment plant is about to be shut down for maintenance.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I have so many questions in my mind. The impact, of the people, of those who will be affected. Impact on their lives. How long is this shutdown for? What's the extent of the impact? Because of course, that we are not out of COVID yet. One of the most important things with COVID is running water. For washing hands and all of that.
The rains have begun. The
rains have fallen. In fact, we were not supposed to even have rains at this time, but somehow we do. Cholera is always associated with the rainfall because, of course, the sanitation situation and everything else. So all these, a compendium of problems.
What I want to find answers to is normally, when things like these are going to happen, we are given some kind of time, we have timelines we are working with, but most often, that's not the issue. Something will happen. We will have to extend, the times, but what are the contingency plans? What measures have been put in place to make sure that if we have to extend, the period for the maintenance work, people would not be in a difficulty? Okay.
Yeah, so we do have, there's something an article we want to read to you from the City Newsroom on this plant issue. Parts of Accra will to be without water as GWCL fixes 40 pipelines. Now, the article here goes on to say there will be an interruption in water supply to the western part of the Greater Accra region later in September 2021. The management of the Ghana Water Company Limited, in a statement cited by City News, said its engineers will be replacing some 40 valves in the main 900 mm transmission pipelines, which impedes water flow and causes serious challenges in the distribution lines. It has also said that there are some leakages also within the supply area, causing Ghana Water Company Limited to lose several volumes of water daily, and consequently having a serious impact on the volumes available for consumption. All right, the quote here says the GWCL engineers will also take advantage of the shutdown to install some electromagnetic meters at the water treatment plant, which will help the company's drive to reduce non-revenue water. It added. Okay, so the story goes on. You can go on and read there. The areas envisaged to be hardest hit include the Weja, Bawe, Kaswa, Malam, Sakaman, Odoko, Dansaman, Mamprobi, Agege, Kolegono, Kolebu, Latibio Koshi, Mataeko, North Industrial Area, Kaneshi, Awudome Estates, North Kaneshi, Abeka, La Paz, Kwashiman, Anya, Santa Maria, Ablekuma, Alaji, Tabora, Tesano, Dome, Taifa, Achimota, and surrounding communities. Right. I was hoping my area won't come up, but it has been mentioned.
Well, unfortunately, so maybe you should be filling water or get your money ready to buy some sachet water, for bathing. But what I would want to find answers to, and I'm sure we'll later be joined by Ghana Water Company Limited officials, what I want to know is this just an emergency repair works? Because it says that some faulty pipelines, or is there annual maintenance work? No, so if it's annual maintenance works, then at least we know that we can go with the timelines we'll be given. But if it is some emergency challenge, we may not be too sure of the timelines we are dealing with. Now, I would want to know how residents will be surviving. I heard earlier that the Ghana Water Company said that they are going to be sending tankers around, water tankers around for people. Where would they be? How adequate will that water be for residents? Can a household, go with 15 buckets, got to go with 10 buckets, you know, or, I mean, every household is entitled to a certain number of buckets that you can get or gallons you can get. So these are answers that we need to know so people can prepare very well. And don't forget that we've also been talking to some residents who will be affected. This is not the first time this is happening. So how have they been dealing with issues like these? And this particular one, how would they deal with it? So let's go over and hear some of the residents on their preparations.
That day, 5 days, no, it's too much. At least when you be 3 days or 2 days cry, so okay, my 5 days is too much. When them can feel think about something about that one, you'll be better.
They are saying they are going to bring water here in this community with this tanker to supply you water. Are you going to, is it going to be enough for you?
Oh no, the people are plenty. How many tanks you can fit bring where you supply that? I'm not sure say that thing can help. Don't just when them can fit do something about that 5 days there, when you can fit do it fast, maybe like 3 days or 2 days, man, how them talk say you bring tank, I'm not sure. Say you can feel help the people because the people are plenty. The water you are using a day cry for wager here, it not be small. No, I'm not sure say that thing.
You're not sure say it go work?
No, you know if you work.
We immediately no go to be any by you. Ni jepona na mi bia ke mini ya dane agba no le ake nuko na kan nuko no bo ako ife ko nuko
ni akuche ne nganyefo no ye
o fo e bi ene no pipe ni ogba ese ne no wo fo
government no ni
government no
o ka nga pipe ne me nye depend on ne ke pipe ne
o wo ifa ajo Newton fa ba fo ajo Jama Junction ba fo ajo Adun aba fo dana dan ko pe bi ene wo fo no wo ifa e ko mi ne no pe e ko be he go do
e wo bi ane na ke abang me pipe mi to 5 days ne e ba gbo na
o e ba gba na wa je no ko bibi e agba wo na
te ba fete ba gbo na
be nu no ji no fe mo nu aka fi o no fe no ndo ka bia na nga ni nu ba le be wo te ha mo mi agbo ona e be to mo light ro ba ko ya he ni ne no su kan ne no su she ne nu ni no ka fi o no fe no
tenant ji shasi mi can be here until I go use out mo ipa na ni solo ni home simi e spon ne ke e wa mi e aka nyenka junwe nyenka fe no ko nyenka ho ni e wa mi ni ka me mi e ba gba na agbo e ba gba na wa ke nsi anfe ya ke no e ko pa flash no nke fi ono fian no si e ko le ke ta flat nte ni ase no le manima ye sipon nu ni ke flash si ake ni home ke ejuwe sipon nu yen iwe ba gba na wa iwo ko ke ba wa government e feel step by step ke je bi e ke ba bi e ni ke nu ame ka men supply den che ame fi all the politics ba na aja ashimokume aho monele ne ba je e ba anle keke fan bi asiame keke won we gba wona iwo nu ele wa wo e noko mi.
How many gallons of water, like if you are measuring it by the Kufuor gallon, how many gallons of water do you use alone in the morning?
Okay, I use about, let me say 2. Because you know children, they normally consume a lot of water. So I use 2 in the morning. In the afternoon, 1, and then evening. Evening we normally use a lot of water because the children will start playing. They will come in very dirty, start using water and there. So at least, let me say 4 or 5
gallons in a day.
Yeah, in a day, 4 or 5. Yeah.
And do you have
apart from washing?
The authorities have said that even though they are going to close taps, vehicles will be moving around with water to distribute water. Do you think it will work? Do you think it's enough to serve your water needs?
Yes, it will work because some of us, where we normally we don't have water in our house, we go to tap, you see. So if like the tap is not coming and water let me say vehicle is passing with water, it will help. That's very good for the government to do that. Yeah, it will help a lot.
And are you sure the number of water, the gallons of water they will give you will be enough for you?
Even if it's not enough, we will manage, because you see the system now is very, you see, it's very dicey. So what to do? We will manage. If now the pipe will go off, and I'm supposed to use 4 gallons or 3 gallons, and the pipe is off, and the government is helping me, I have to minimize it. Like I'll use 2 or 3. Now, if like the water is not coming, you have to wake up early in the morning, go and meet long queue. Even some people will be starting fetching water 12 midnight till, because of they'll be going to work. Yeah, and so I have to wake up early. It's not easy. It's not easy. Very long queue. Yeah.
All right.
That is it. So
these are some of the concerns and opinions of residents within the area. The
yeah. So that was Calvis, correspondent, from Central Region. Calvis interacting with some of residents who will be affected by the shutdown of the Wager plant. Yes.
So we have the PRO of the Ghana Water Company Limited on Zoom with us this morning. Good morning, Stanley.
Good morning,
Mr. Martin, it's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Network.
Thank you. So this, we want to just find out from you. So this shutdown that's happening, is it like an annual thing that you're doing, a regular, maintenance schedule, on a regular maintenance schedule that you're performing, or it is an emergency situation that you're having to shut this down?
I think I wouldn't describe it under any of the issues that you've raised. With maintenance, it's an ongoing thing, and we have a strict policy of maintaining our equipment on a regular basis. And it is also not an annual thing because we have just identified some challenges within the system, and it's important that we have them repaired. Now, in the last few months, we've had some challenges within the system, such that areas where we expect water to be, you realize that there wouldn't be water. And after troubleshooting, we realized that we have some faulty valves. So we have just identified some faulty valves within the system. And so we need to have these valves repaired, because the faulty valves impede the flow of water within the distribution network. So people do not get water, although there's water in Wager. Now, to enable us do that, we'll have to shut down the Wager treatment plant, because it's an entire area, the whole of the western part of Accra. Now, to shut down the entire treatment plant, we are taking advantage of that one so that we could do other works. Other than that, we have to come back another time again to shut down to say we want to do this, want to do that. So we are shutting down for something now. Why don't we prepare so that we can do everything concurrently or simultaneously and have it done once and for all? And that is why we have chosen this time, and we needed to inform the general public on time so everybody will prepare for that 5-day period. Which we expect that there will be some improvement in the flow afterwards.
How sure are you, Stanley, that we're not going to go beyond the 5-day period?
For us as humans and for us as technical people, we have done everything possible to enable us finish within 3-4 days. Now, after the 3-4 days, we need about 24 hours to enable the system charge for water to get to all areas. And that is why we have said that it's going to take at least 5 days. Now, barring any technical hitches, barring any unforeseen circumstances, we should be able to finish within the stipulated time. But assuming other challenges beyond our control, some extraneous factors set in, then it becomes very difficult. But for us as technical people, we have done everything possible, and we know that all things being equal, we should finish between 5 days.
Right, Stanley, you earlier mentioned, in your communique to us that you are going to be sending water around. You are going to be providing water to residents. How is the distribution going to be, and how many gallons or how many buckets is a household entitled to?
So we are not going to serve households because it's impossible. It's not feasible at all. But what we are going to do is to give priority to the essential service providers like hospitals and schools, and will be filling their receptacles, their reservoirs within their compounds or within their premises. Okay, and then during the COVID era, COVID is still around. So during the initial stages of the COVID era, the Ghana Water Company Limited, via government policy, mounted some reservoirs within our communities. Now, after the COVID period, we gave out these reservoirs to vendors within the communities to sell the water or to fill and to sell the water to community members. Okay, and there are about 700,000 of these, 700 of these reservoirs within the communities. So what we'll be doing will be similar to what we did during the during the initial stages of the COVID era. We'll be filling them with tankers so that the community members can, as part of their normal routine, go to these vendors to buy the water from them.
Okay.
This time it's not going to be free because we are also going to sell the water to the vendors.
Okay.
So you go there and then you buy your water as usual. And we are also doing so because we don't want people to misuse the water like they did during the COVID era or during the initial stages of the COVID era. So these are the measures that we're taking. First of all, essential service providers will be given priority. And let me use this platform to caution managers or officers who manage the water situation within these institutions. For instance, like Kolebu, they have a very big reservoir. There's an estate officer who takes care of the area. We expect that this estate officer will inform the Ghana Water Company Limited on time before the reservoir gets depleted entirely. Okay. So when we are about quarter level to finishing, you inform the GWCL, and then we'll rush in with our tankers to have them filled, because we don't want the occurrence of any eventuality. And we don't want water to be a challenge or water to cause any epidemic during this short period. So let's all be responsible. Let's all be cautious and manage our offices very well. Inform us on time, and we are ready at any point in time to supply the water to them. Okay, so we have rented private tankers who are going to go around to fill the community reservoirs and then to fill reservoirs within these essential service institutions. So this is the arrangement that we have made.
Right, so we are going to have to buy our own water for the 4 to 5 day period that the plant will be shut down. Now, at the end of the month, are we going to see a reflection of this in our bills?
No, because if you are buying the water, it's not going to have any impact on your bill. Your bill is given to you based on the consumption at home. Okay, and that consumption at home is actually seen by the readings on your meter. So if water hasn't gone through your meter, the meter won't read and it wouldn't have any reflection on your bill.
Right, so for those of us who may not know where the various tankers or the various reservoirs in our communities are you going to be sending some kind of communicate around, to let people know that, so if you are in Dansoman, this is where you need to go to get water. If you are in Waja, this is where you need to go.
I will entreat every citizen of Ghana that this is the information that we have sent out, that we are shutting down from Monday to Friday. If you know that within the 5 days you can't store enough water, so you're resorting to the community reservoirs, please locate the nearest one within your area now.
Okay.
Okay? Because, like I said, we have 700 of them within the metropolis. Okay? And if we have to give, we have a digital map of the location of all these tankers. If we put out the digital map now, how many people will be able to read the maps and to locate where the reservoirs are? So they are close by, but please use this opportunity from now till Sunday evening to identify the one closest to you, so that in times of need, you just go there to fetch. It's not, you don't have to wait till you are in crisis before you go out looking for water.
All right, so the date again for the beginning of the shutdown, when are we looking at?
Yes, we shut down on Monday.
Okay.
The 13th of September.
13th, okay.
And we are very prayerful and hoping with strong faith that all things being equal, barring any technical hitches, we should be done by Friday, the 17th of September 2001.
Okay.
Right. Stanley Martin.
And I'm very sure,
yes,
because we have been meeting over this thing for the past month. We have set out teams to work at the various areas or the various locations where we have to do any work. We have made sure that all logistics are in place. And over the weekend, we will station all the logistics where they are supposed to be. Our workers who are going to work have all been tested for COVID.
Yeah.
And so they are done their PCR test and everything. So they will. So everybody is set now, and we move to the sites over the weekend.
Yeah.
And then immediately we shut down. We start working at the various sites.
Okay.
And we are hoping that, like I keep saying, barring any unforeseen circumstances, we should be able to finish by Friday.
All right, Mr. Stanley Martin,
All right.
thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.